What if the key to being unforgettable has nothing to do with charisma, flashiness, or cleverness, but everything to do with how you hold your silence? In a world drowning in noise, people are craving something deeper. They remember not the loudest person in the room, but the one whose energy speaks volumes without saying a word. This quiet presence, this magnetic stillness, it's not a trick. It's an ancient secret, a Stoic secret, one rooted in deep self-respect, inner mastery, and timeless character. We've all been conditioned in one way or another to chase approval, be agreeable, be available, smile more, say the right things, be the life of the party. But here's the truth the Stoics knew. The more you chase external validation, the more forgettable you become. Why? Because you're giving yourself away too easily. People don't remember what's common, they remember what's rare. And what's rare in today's world is stillness, silence, self-command. So if you're ready to stop blending in and start standing out, not by shouting, but by becoming rooted in who you are, then let's explore the Stoic principles that will make you unforgettable. 1. The power of self-contained silence. The first Stoic secret is self-contained silence, a silence filled with presence, purpose, and poise. In today's age of oversharing and digital shouting, silence is almost seen as a weakness. But the Stoics saw it as a sign of strength. When you're not compelled to fill every pause with chatter, you send a subtle but powerful message: I am enough. I don't need your approval to exist fully in this moment. Consider how most people behave in social situations. They speak quickly, nervously, constantly trying to fill gaps or say something clever. It's often unconscious, a need to avoid discomfort. But the person who is at peace with silence, they immediately stand out. Their calmness feels like gravity. Their presence commands the room, not through volume, but through stillness. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do. This is the source of unforgettable presence." To be silent isn't to be absent, it's to observe, to be intentional. It's to measure your words, to speak when you truly have something to say. And in a world where everyone is talking, the one who listens and waits becomes a mystery others want to solve. Practice it. In your next conversation, try holding a pause. Try listening more than speaking. Let others wonder what you're thinking. Let your energy do the talking. Over time, your words will carry more weight, because they won't come from a need to be heard. They'll come from the confidence of someone who already knows who they are. 2. Master your inner citadel. The second Stoic secret is the concept of the inner citadel, a fortified mind, unshaken by external chaos. Epictetus taught that we are not disturbed by events, but by our interpretation of those events. In other words, nothing out there can truly touch you unless you let it. The person who is reactive, who flies off the handle, panics under pressure, or depends on others for emotional balance, becomes forgettable because they're just like everyone else. But the one who meets challenges with grace, they become unforgettable. This kind of emotional independence doesn't mean you don't feel, it means you don't lose yourself in those feelings. You create space between stimulus and response. You develop discipline over your reactions. You remain the eye of the storm while everything else spins wildly around you. When someone insults you, Do you react emotionally, or do you remain calm, seeing their words as a reflection of their pain, not your worth? When plans fall apart, do you collapse or do you adapt with resilience? This calmness is power, it's leadership. And in an unpredictable world, people crave that steady rock. Build your inner citadel through daily reflection, journaling, meditation, and emotional honesty. Recognize your triggers and reclaim your responses. The stronger your inner world becomes, the more unshakable and unforgettable you'll be to those around you. 3. Detach with purpose, not apathy. The third Stoic principle is often misunderstood: detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold, indifferent, or numb. True Stoic detachment means you engage with life fully, but without clinging to the outcome. You can love someone deeply, pursue success passionately, and pour your heart into your work, and still remain whole even if it doesn't go your way. Why? Because your sense of worth doesn't depend on external things. You don't need anything outside yourself to feel complete. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The same applies to emotional wealth. Want less, attach to less, and suddenly you become free. This freedom is magnetic. People can sense when you're with them, not because you need something, but because you choose to be. Your attention becomes a gift, not a transaction, and people are drawn to those who don't need, who don't cling, who don't demand, but who still care deeply. You become someone they feel safe with, not because you won't leave, but because you're present without pressure. That's rare. That's unforgettable. 4. Live by virtue, not for applause. The final and most powerful Stoic secret is to live by virtue, not by performance. The Stoics didn't chase fame, popularity, or applause. They pursued character. They believed the purpose of life was to align with 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. We live in a world that often rewards superficiality, viral moments, flashy confidence, shiny success, but none of it lasts. What does last, what people remember, is integrity. When you act with wisdom, you make thoughtful decisions even under pressure. When you act with courage, you stand for what's right even when it's hard. When you live justly, you treat others fairly and kindly even when no one's watching. When you practice temperance, you stay balanced, resisting extremes. Marcus Aurelius urged, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about showing up every day with a clear internal compass and letting your values, not your fears or desires, guide your actions. And the incredible thing? People feel this. They trust you more. They respect you more. You become that rare presence that exudes reliability, authenticity, and strength. You don't need to be impressive. You just need to be real, aligned with your highest values. Final thoughts. Let presence replace performance. The Stoic path to being unforgettable is a paradox. It's not about adding anything to yourself. It's about removing what doesn't serve you. The people we remember the most are often the ones who needed the least from others, because they had already given everything to themselves. Self-contained silence, an inner citadel, purposeful detachment, a life of virtue. This is the formula for becoming unforgettable. It's not flashy, It's not loud, but it's real. And in a world full of masks and performances, nothing is more magnetic than someone who simply is. Someone anchored, calm, and guided by truth. You don't have to try so hard to be remembered. Just become so grounded that your very presence lingers in the room long after you've left. Be the calm in the storm. Be the quiet strength people seek out in moments of chaos. Be the one who speaks rarely, but always meaningfully. And in doing so, you won't just be unforgettable, you'll be undeniable.